Hi, good morning. My name is Ashutosh Sharma. I am the Managing Director and Founder at Umeed Housing Finance. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes talking about the very exciting business that we built at Umeed. We are primarily in the housing finance space, affordable housing finance space. So we really look to finance retail customers who are looking to take small ticket home loans from us. Part of our business is kind of in the secured business loan segment, which is where we give business loans to people which are really secured by property. I want to talk a little bit about the segment that we are operating in. So when we think about the Indian market, we actually look at kind of ticket sizes which are in the 3 lakhs to 30 or 40 lakh kind of range. Our average ticket sizes on our loans are in the region of 8 to 9 lakhs per pop, right? More interestingly, so we clearly do the smaller ticket home loans where we feel that there is a huge demand for financing. And for a host of reasons, many formal players haven't been able to get in and address that segment in a very effective and efficient fashion. A large part of this demand is really with people who have informal incomes. Which is kind of the area that we largely focus on. If you actually move to slide 6 in the deck, it gives you a very good sense of the kind of size of opportunity we are looking to tap here, right? We are basically talking about the urban and surrounding areas, kind of offer a market size of close to $8.5 trillion of financing requirements in the next 2 or 3 years. I would say that we've raised 4 rounds of equity over the last 4 years, right? We've now got partners like Globe Capital, LGT Impact, and Morgan Stanley as key investors in the company. And the number of branches through which we actually extend coverage has been growing at a very systematic pace every year. We are now close to 26 branches. with total assets under management of kind of over 500 crores. This kind of gives you a very good snapshot of where the business is today. So over kind of 500 crores of assets under management. The split between housing loans and business loans is kind of close to 62 to 38%. It's kind of quite, we are delighted to report that if you look at our gross NPA numbers, they are kind of less than 0.1% at this point in time. And that kind of clearly puts us in the top 10 percentile of companies operating in this segment. We've got more than 20 lenders on board, right? We operate in 3 states and have close to 350 employees on our rolls, right? In terms of financial performance, we've kind of clear that we want to kind of operate in the 16% ROI space, right? And while the affordable housing finance segment in turn has multiple sub-segments, this is kind of the segment that we are most comfortable operating in. Also, we are delighted to report that we've had a credit rating upgrade in the last few months, and we moved from a BBB to a BBB plus rating, which in the middle of this pandemic was actually a extremely pleasant surprise because most other financial institutions were kind of seeing downgrades on ratings, whereas we've actually managed to get an upgrade given the strong capital position and the strong business metric. And I'd kind of like to talk about 3, I think, critical things which are important for us. Firstly, I want to kind of touch upon a technology-led approach to operations, right? So when you think of a very large opportunity, right, the only way I believe that you can really scale to hit and achieve milestones is if you actually introduce a fair amount of technology in your processes early on in the company's growth. The second thing I think it's worth talking about is really the fact that we are lending to a segment where it is kind of more difficult to evaluate incomes from an underwriting perspective. It's very important to have a tailor-made strategy for credit underwriting. And I think the third thing that we are which is kind of different about us, is that we are not traditionally looking at sourcing loans using what the market calls DSAs, which are direct selling agents. But we are looking to go directly to the customer through a variety of approaches to be able to originate loans. The interesting piece where I think we have created a fairly big differentiation is that we have actually got a tailor-made LOS, a loan origination system, which has been built for Umeed. And this is a mobility-based loan origination system. I think the second piece, if I can actually just take you for a minute to slide 13, is to see how many parts of the business are very strongly technology supported, right? So if you look at, we've actually got an amazing app called Sarthi. Sarthi in Hindi, in English means helper, right? Or a friend. And the Sarthi app is something that we actually give to many of our power partners who help us originate these loans. You know, these could be shopkeepers who sell building material, sell other hardware services. So whenever somebody is looking to build a house, they will inevitably end up visiting these people. And if they need a loan, these people then provide us that lead through a tech-based device, which then flows into our telecalling unit, which then processes and makes calls on those leads and converts many of these cold leads to hot leads and then log in. I want to talk a little bit about the second USP, if I can take you to page 12, right, which is really our credit underwriting skills. Given that India is a very large country, each state kind of, in some ways has districts which operate in a different fashion. We figured that it was very important for us to understand the credit history of the region before we decide where we want to operate, right? Secondly, we figured that if we wanted good underwriters in this informal segment, we needed to hire local and then train people, right? Because this again required an understanding of the language, because many of our underwriting decisions are based on personal discussions that our underwriters have with our clients at their workplace and then assess income, right? The third piece, which was I think very critical for us really, was that we developed a number of industry grids which allowed us to evaluate the income of the customer segment we were looking to bank. Local son of soil hiring, industry grids to help better assessment of income, fairly centralized process of decision making with a committee coming into play wherever there is disagreements between business and credit on approvals, are some of the factors which have actually stood us quite well to actually develop a strong underwriting culture in Umeed. I think I want to touch a little bit upon the third USP I spoke about, which is the direct sourcing USP. And here again, what we've done is that we have enrolled a number of partners in the market. We call them power partners, we call them Sarthis, who are actually helping us originate many of these loans. These are people who effectively, when they help us source the loan, they're also selling their own product. I'll kind of take you to slide 15 to talk a little bit about the team. So right from the word go, we decided that we wanted to build Umeed as a professional entity which we wanted to scale over a period of time. I, as the founder of the company, kind of have close to more than 25 years of banking experience across various verticals of banking in multiple institutions across multiple geographies. Sachin Grover, who's our Chief Operating Officer, has over 20 years of mortgages experiences in India, working across multiple entities, multiple customer segments. Our credit underwriter or credit head, Rajendra Gupta, has more than 15 years of underwriting experience, a lot of which is in this specific customer segment that we are looking to address. Binata Lawrence, who's our HR head, has had over 15 years of HR experience. She spent 13 of those years with HDFC Bank as their regional HR person in Delhi. We've got Vikas Mishra, who's our VP Finance and Strategy. He's had extensive experience in that field in that line of work. On the business side, many of our state heads, our area heads, our hub heads, our relationship managers are people from the field who've got extensive experience across the spaces they operate in. One of the questions we do get quite often in today's environment is, how has COVID impacted you? How has it impacted the business? And I think that while, like many other businesses, we suffered for the first 2-3 months when there was a complete lockdown, but I think the business has kind of bounced back quite nicely. Disbursals are now ramping up back to pre-COVID levels, as you see on slide 17. I must say we are delighted to share that our collection efficiencies are close to 97%. which again puts us in the top 10 percentile of other retail lenders in the country. And we are hoping that we can end this year with assets under management of over 600 odd crores, a year ending being March 2021. And as we think about next year, we are really looking to step on the gas, start the process of building out on our hubs and our branches again, and really looking to end the year March 2022 with kind of close to 1,000 odd crores under management. I think we are delighted at the potential partnership which is on the table with CX. I've known the CX team for many years, given the long years that I've spent at Citi. I've spent close to 13 years at Citi, and have known many members of the CX team since my days there. So really looking forward to the partnership with Vinayak and JK and the other members of the CX team. Thank you so much. We'll be hoping that we get a chance at some point to meet in person, and appreciate your time today. Thank you.